Hey everybody, 14 Guitars here. I am back at Manchester. Had a great surf trip, 9 days with 4 of my close friends. We just had a great time. Basically surfed twice a day, played a lot of poker, ate some great meals. We cooked all but one of our meals, and we just had a great time. We got some, mahi fresh enough for 2 meals for 5 people. Was $40. It was just a great time. We had a big house all to ourselves. I took my drone. There's a few videos posted on the on my website, on my YouTube channel, excuse me. Anyway, it was a great time. I definitely realized that I was out of surfing shape, but it was just fantastic. I took it fairly easy and just had a great time with close friends. So that was something special. So back at Manchester, what I'm going to do on this ride, I'm going to try to ride it about the same as last time. What was that, the 18th of February? Same trails, not quite the same order, but the same trails. And I just want to see what my average heart rate is while I'm here compared to what it was before I went surfing. Because surfing was a whole lot more exercise than I got, aerobically, than before the last time I rode. And as I tend to preach a lot, if you can get your aerobic workout in, you're going to do so much better on a dirt bike. And that's why the guys who are pros, they spend so much time riding road bikes, right? Getting that road bike time in. I'm pulling an Anderson here. I'm losing my pants, or I guess it's a Tomac. Pants are falling off. But in any case, maybe I lost a little weight surfing. In any case, really just want to see if there's any difference in my fitness level after so many days of 2 days in the surf and getting plenty of sleep. I've been back a week, so really haven't done much as far as working out since that week. And just gonna have a fun ride. Looking forward to it. The red trail, which is the longest trail. I think it's 9 miles. Then the little short green trail, I'll be all warmed up for it since it's the craziest whoop-a-doo trail. And then the blue trail, because it's the prettiest. But first I'm going to just go up and down here a little bit just to kind of warm the bike up. Nothing specific, just put a little bit of time on the bike, really just to warm it up. So this is actually, I believe this is the kids track right there. And they didn't used to have a sign that called it the kids track, but there's a sign up now. So that's kind of cool. Get the kids out here. I think adults can ride it as long as there aren't any kids present. Some of these whoops are, 4 feet deep. It's crazy. And these ruts, just insane. I have almost no experience in this kind of rut. It's wild. Come out here and ride Manchester. You'll probably get to do something you haven't done before. Here's where I dumped it last time. Get a little lazy. One nice thing about these crazy ruts is that it's a good warm-up. I know there's guys that probably hit these with doubles but I have no experience doing that kind of thing. All right, so that was a fun warm-up. The bike feels like it's starting to get warmed up a little bit. So let's start with the red trail. So this is the trail that goes to the right. It's the trail that actually goes around the whole perimeter of the property. So you're near a road a lot of the time. So I would say it's probably the least fun for me, because you feel like you're, you know, riding an access road almost. I can tell already that I am more fit than when I was here in February. So, one thing about cardio, it's not just your heart. Every vein and capillary and artery in your body gets toned up when you're, you know, these things have, I don't know if they're muscles or some kind of actuator, you know, that dilates your blood vessels, etc. I'm probably totally mutilating this, but anyway, for you med students out there, I apologize. But anyway, those things get tuned up when you work on your cardio. So your blood can flow to every part of your body easier. Your heart works less. You get oxygen to your muscles, to more tissue. Really, remember, your body runs on oxygen and basically ATP, you know, sugar, essentially. Energy plus oxygen, right? Or energy, oxygen plus food is energy. It burns. So you can think of it that way anyway. I'm, of course, simplifying this dramatically. A little side trail. One thing I can tell you, it's definitely more fun being a little more fit. Just feels better. And even though surfing, I wasn't doing my legs a whole lot, just the overall fitness, my legs, and definitely worked my lower back, upper back, neck. And you're holding your head up, using the muscles in the back of your neck when you surf. Some of the same muscles that you use for your helmet. Those of you who don't ride too often understand, you know, you're out riding and suddenly your head is just, your neck muscles are aching because your head's not used to having a 3-pound or 4-pound helmet on top of it. Gotta say, I feel pretty darn good, gentlemen and ladies. It's about 62 degrees on the 21st of March. I was supposed to get my braces off today, but I have to wait till next Wednesday. So one more week. He had one tooth that he said wasn't perfect, and that wasn't good enough. So next time I do my video, I probably will not have any braces left, which is cool. I've been doing it for about 2 years. I did Invisalign, and then we added upper braces about 3 months ago. I stopped doing Invisalign, put the permanent retainer on the bottom, and put the top metal work in there. Whew. And it's slippery. Can't get, gotta pay attention. Anyway. where that one kid was doing so well and had his only stall coming up this hill. Riding a little Yamaha 80 or something. Right there, we just passed it. That's the cover shot from my last video. When that kid had his first stall. Made it all that way. Young kid. And he was a happy kid, man, mastering that motorcycle. Great dad and friends teaching him to ride. And he seemed to have the stoke for it, which is really cool. As some of you probably have taken friends, and you can tell some kids could care less, and for other kids it's like, yeah, this is something I'm going to do. It's like any hobby. Something clicks, it's like, yeah, I'm going to do that the rest of my life. Sometimes they do the rest of their life. Sometimes it lasts a few years. Thankfully for me, I still love doing it. Maybe more than ever at 61 years old. So I'm so thankful to be at least fit enough to ride. Not fast, you know, moderate endurance, but enough to really have a good time. Fairly stiff suspension from last year because it seems to work well on everything. I'll try to remember to post my latest suspension settings. They, you know, I don't know how meaningful they are because my shock and my forks have both been revalved. You know, I revalved the shock for Woods with a gold valve kit, and I had Factory Solutions do the front forks and valve them for Woods as well. But if you can handle a stiff suspension, you know, it's not great in these conditions, right? But when you're slamming Wamba at 50 miles an hour, you know, they really soak up the bumps. It does a great job without having to make any changes. You know, there you'll get this plus, you know, super high speed bumpy runs. You know, like doing the whoops at 50, 55 on the power lines. Keeping your settings stiff enough for those with the right kind of rebound settings and all. It might be a little bumpy elsewhere on the trail, so I'll try to follow the windier route today. You can just whip right through there. See that trail? The old trail? You just fly down this. To my right there. See those old whoops? You fly down through that tunnel there. A lot of fun. But I don't know, maybe the new route might be even better with a few turns in it. Bike is running so good. You know, it's really valved for probably this, you know, 60 degrees is probably, the valving is probably perfect. Say between 50 and 60. And I've been a little too lazy to change it in summer and winter for what passes for winter here. You can hear the bike's ready to go more than I am. You know, I only ride Manchester a couple times a year, so I imagine if you rode it every day, you have some areas where you would really fly, but I don't know it well enough to risk bouncing off a tree yet. There's the old trail. I kind of like this little side skinny trail here a lot. Now I'll get back on the old trail. There is something to be said about those old trails and where you got to these walls, like a bobsled run. That's kind of cool too. I like a combination of both. Grab that clutch, boys, when that happens. You're heading for a wreck. Either give it more power or grab your clutch. I didn't do either, I did the opposite. So many times when you let off the gas, the bike will just, you know, knife out on you. Or if you just either pull the clutch so you get your flow, or give it a little gas. Alright, I'm going to try to just give you some YZ250 sounds now for a few minutes if I can keep my mouth shut. You can rest. Mark this on your map. That's where you can stay cool right there. It's a little spring. So if you rest right there at that turn, it's always moist even in the heat of summer. So that right at that left turn, you can get off your bike and just enjoy a little cooler temperature as the moisture evaporates. As we've said before, when water evaporates, energy, there's less energy to put into temperature, so the temperature goes down. That's how water coolers work, right? That's why if you got water on your skin, when you get out of the water and it starts to evaporate, your skin feels cool. It's because it physically is cooling caused by the evaporation. Energy goes into the evaporation, which is less energy to go into temperature. So you literally cool an object when you evaporate water or almost any other substance on top of it. For us, of course, water is all that matters. Exercise that helps your breathing is you You have major breathing muscles that are used for most breathing tasks, and then auxiliary breathing muscles. And when you're out of shape, your major muscles get tired. Your auxiliary muscles that aren't used to being taxed have to take over the breathing, and then you're really in trouble. That's where you get aching lungs, you know, feeling like you got a heart attack. That's those auxiliary muscles being called into action because your major standard muscles, or primary breathing muscles, are tired. They get fatigued, but you still have to breathe. Your other muscles come into play. When you're in shape, they all work together. The big primary muscles do their job, and the auxiliary muscles, especially those that might be used when you twist at an angle or bend over, those are used for that. So your major muscles aren't, you know, taxed when you're bending over. Your auxiliary muscles aren't taxed for normal breathing, and suddenly everything is far less effort. Far less effort. So that was quite a bit of red trail, not on the main red trail, which is nice. You know, some auxiliary, not exactly single track, but a little smaller track, skinnier track, maybe less whoop-de-doos. A lot of fun. This is great fun. Great fun, y'all. Come out to Manchester. Woo! $25 for the whole year, for $5 a day. That road right there used to be a major swamp. I remember stopping there with my nephew and getting stuck in like quicksand, like muck, trying to get up that little hill. So much water was running through there, but I guess that road took care of that, or maybe it's just drying up this time of year. They put that road in for logging. That's interesting. Call the dry flooded swamp. It obviously was flooded at one time. It killed all the trees unless it was beetles or a combination. See how sandy it is? And now it's dry. It's very distinct in its landscape. Gave a little gas and rescued the crash. Whew. When in doubt, gas it out. But be careful, kids. Be careful. Solid suspension really works. Big bumps like that at high speeds, real nice. It felt 5 feet deep, but they're probably 2 or 3. so much problems with that stupid corner. Let's go try that again. I guess a little better. Hopefully we're not out of gas. I knew I was a little bit low on fuel. Oh yeah, plenty. Normally I always fill my tank up, but I didn't have any gas at the garage, so I just went with what I had left over from the last ride. The last ride was so slow, I figure I probably used less than a gallon of gas. That part of the trail comes from. Red to the right, blues to the left. We're on the red. I gotta say I'm a little bit winded. The bike right now, keep my speed up without much acceleration or deceleration to rest. remember last time we had a good 5 or 10 minute rest, and I rested once at the trailhead, and I fell over 3 times, so that was 3 rests. So I usually try to get up pretty fast. This trail about another 20 or 30 yards into the woods, just so we don't have to look at that. Yeah, the edges of this stuff is pretty slick. That dry sand, mostly sand. There we go. A little bit of dirt. I wonder if these forests preserve the topsoil and build it up. I mean, you would think they do. If you look at the places where there's no forest, they get sandy so quick. It's the last leg. It's the leg that runs along the road that we got here on. Oops. torture trail. I warmed up on it last time. But I would advise riding one of the longer trails first. They're not quite so brutal as far as non-stop whoops when you're trying to actually warm up. You can mitigate it some, just stay in a higher gear. Keep your acceleration down a little bit, deceleration. Stay loose on the bike. But it's still a working man's trail no matter how you ride it. That's for sure. That was a time where a clutch saved you better than a throttle. If you try to jump two, you end up right in the next one. So there's space. A little brutal for jumping whoops. Unless you're flying. I don't have the skill set for that here, or the fitness. I'd love to get behind somebody that was really fast and watch how they do that. That would be fun. Just use the technique and then, you know, shoot for that eventually. On that trail is sit down a lot of the time. No matter how you ride it, unless you're just, you know, practically idling, you're gonna have to be standing up. I think I fell right there last time. Like that, you know, once you know, you get familiar, you'll know where you're going to turn like that. But I really wasn't familiar enough to even know whether you can make the second turn there or not. So once you've learned that, then you can work on speed. Track advantage is a, you know, it's a real thing. That trail looks more fun. Next time I'm going to go right on that one. Like I said, we lost a good bit of these during logging. People just forgot the best way to go. down a little bit. But not hit blue. The last 8 miles. As you can hear, I'm lugging the heck out of the bike. That's just a resting technique. Probably would have went down when I rode in February on that. You must remember, I hadn't ridden in 2 months when I rode in February at all. And I was just getting a little lazy, sitting down a little too much. That comes with fatigue, right? You just gotta step up and stand up, baby. All right, I'll take it. Full throttle after you fall over. Flooded bike. Check out that heart rate now. Whew. I wonder what is it. I'm guessing 170. Probably if I've been averaging 150, 155. Resting. It's even better for this jetting. The bike runs even stronger as it cools down a little bit. I think the needle's about perfect. The mane is a little rich for this form. This is where that kid stalled right here. It's a long, steady hill. Little bitty two-stroke. Probably getting ready to outgrow. Time for my public service announcement for goggles. I've been hitting the goggles 3 or 4 times today, so always wear your goggles so you don't lose an eye and lose your ability to ride. The guy I rode with last time, Brian from Minnesota, super nice guy. He had forgotten his goggles, but he was a very, very, very experienced rider, so he was very good at anticipating and dodging, bushes. He still was at risk. If you have a little get off and you go off the trail into a tree or something, but he was very experienced, so it was lower risk for him than someone, say, just starting out. When you're just starting, you just don't have the knowledge or the muscle memory, to dodge bushes that are going to hit you in the face every time. I mean, some people do, you know, Michael Jordan types, but that's a learned skill. And it's better to learn it with goggles than to learn it by getting poked in the eye over and over and risk something so precious as your eyesight. Now, I had cataract surgery last year, actually earlier this year, and it was almost like a miracle. And I'm so thankful to have basically the eyesight I had just about when I was a young kid. I always had 20/15 eyesight with super good motion detection and color detection and all those things, and that slowly went away. So I've lost it and got it back, and know the value. I knew the value already. I've always been sensitive about my eyes because they worked, and I counted on them so much, hunting, riding, surfing, but even more so is what I saw, what I had lost when I had my first cataract surgery, that I could cover up my old eye that had cataract in it still, and my new eye, because they don't do them at the same time. Most of the time they'll do one, and a week later they'll do the other. So it was so obvious that I had lost so much of my color perception and vision and brightness, all of those things, and I got it restored, and it just made me as thankful as ever. So that's why I'm so, I don't know, I'm so adamant about bugging you guys every time I ride. Wear your goggles, wear your armor. I have crashed, I have bounced off a tree so hard. This armor has mesh underneath it, right? It's mounted on a mesh shirt. I've hit a tree so hard that mesh cut into my flesh, left mesh image as a scab, and didn't break a shoulder or get seriously injured because I had this energy absorbing armor. And if you're going to ride at anything above your comfort level, if you're going to ever get better, you're going to have occasion where you're going to run out of talent. And when you run out of talent, you need good armor. That's the difference between riding the next day and riding 6 months later, or perhaps never again. So, wear your gear, boots and goggles, helmet. Those are the three you gotta have. You gotta protect your brain, you gotta protect your feet, you gotta protect your eyes. Everything else is a wonderful bonus when you bounce off a tree or go over the bars or run into your buddy. Have I done those things? Yes, all three of those I have definitely done. One thing I'm noticing from the last time is my recovery is much better after spending 9 days, 2-a-day surf session. My aerobic recovery. Remember what I said? Air is energy. You got the food in you all the time. You got to get air to the cell to turn it into energy. So if your aerobics are good, your cardio's good, you're going to recover faster, ride stronger, have more fun. Anyone who watched my last video, I think it was my last one, I encouraged you to, maybe it was the one before that, get on your exercise bike 10 minutes a day every day for a week, 5 minutes a day. Whatever you can make yourself do. Try to do it every day for 1 week. what a difference that makes in your riding enjoyment and riding ability. Just a little cardio. The other thing is, when I first had my knee surgery, I popped an ACL in a street bike accident. I rode the exercise bike between 30 minutes and to an hour every day. I went from 185 pounds to 152. I couldn't eat enough food. I was only eating veggies and meat. I just couldn't eat enough calories to keep from losing weight without doing anything real muscular. So that's the other thing you'll notice. If you get on cardio every day, your body becomes much more efficient at burning calories. You can eat more food. You can just pile in the food, just really enjoy your life. All by doing something that just makes dirt bike riding so much more fun and everything else. Plus it makes you much more handsome, of course. Or more beautiful, and it's good for your skin. Now I don't know if any of that's true, but it seems like it would be, doesn't it? I definitely know when you exercise, your features change into a way that is physically attractive to the human brain. So remember, the human brain is wired in its attractiveness to certain shapes from birth. It's built in. So certain shapes are attractive to the human brain. Certain ratios, like the hip ratio, hip to waist ratio is for males, most males. There's a specific ratio that is attractive almost regardless of the weight or size of the person that you're looking at. Well, there is a built into our DNA an attraction to a certain muscles in the face being taut, being in good shape. So when you exercise, you tend to hold your mouth, strain certain muscles, bite your mouth down right, you're gritting your teeth, and that accentuates for men and women, accentuates musculature that is attractive. I mean, look at so many athletes. How can they all be so beautiful? And I mean that for men and women, right? The beauty of the human body. Their faces, though, so many of them they look extraordinary. It's because of the workout affects the musculature in their faces. I might have made all that up, but I'm 99% true. I read that. I definitely know it works for me, in my experience. I'm pretty sure I read that. I'm an idiot. I don't know anything. I'm an engineer. What do I know? I know engineer stuff. Anyway, I know how water evaporates and cools things. Get your cardio, wear your gear, ride your bike, have fun, love life. going up because I'm using a lot more leg muscles. So that's a lot of energy. Energy requires what? Oxygen, that's right. The heart has to beat faster. Take deeper breaths more often. All right, here's the blue trail. Where's the red trail? Across this log part, right over there on the right. Oh. Not paying attention. On the right, the red trail. Well, that was a flying W, y'all. Not paying attention. That was a sack muncher. Really just totally lost concentration. Came out of those woods a lot lower gear than I usually hit this with. That was close. Face the sundown. Go wide on that turn, but I've got goggles. I can put my head down and I'm not risking a lot with those little branches brushing my face. No goggles, there's some risk there. One of those little branches going through your, through your eyebrow. What do you call it? The blinky thing on your eye. Eyelid. the ride back. Still here, life is good. Great ride. Let's call it. Time for some crackers and coffee, huh? All right, that's it.